yours.
We have another $10
Yeah,
super
it's
chat
interesting.
from the Patched Vest. I want to ask, DC's portrayal of Wesker changes between Umbrella Chronicles, almost like Cold Machine portrayal, and RE5's more unhinged maniac. Was this a direction or actor-based decision?
I think we
this
kinda
was
talked about
bad
that.
acting.
Oh no.
No. Here's the deal on this. This is I'll try to make this answer as short as possible. So number one, I don't play video games except now because of Proton John. Thank you, Proton John. But so I don't play video games, and I got the audition through this place called Cup of Tea Productions, run by these lovely ladies, and because I worked a lot there, so they brought me in on this thing where I needed to voice match Peter Jessup, who I had the same agent with him. And I knew him, but he wasn't available for that gig. And he had this weird kind of marbled thing he did with his voice, which like just really like almost very difficult to impersonate. And but I booked that, and I'm like, cool. And it's a lot of it's monologuing through that game. And so and of course, every game's got usually a different director, and so each director has their own impression of what they think the producers want, right? So in this one, we were very controlled, and it was that kind of as you described. And I'm also trying to do Peter Jessup's voice. So that's that game. Then I get thanks to Ruben Langdon, he loved me as Wesker and wanted me to do Resident Evil 5. Both he wanted me to audition for the mocap, but I'd thrown my back out and I was horrible in that audition. Obviously did not get it. But they brought me in for Sorry, my hair. But they brought me in for the voiceover of it and the face mocap of it with all the dots and things, or they put little metal beads on me then. So I'm ready to do Peter Jessup, and I go into the recording booth and they get the cameras lined up and all of that, and the producers, like, it was a really kind of big voiceover production. And then they go, okay, we're going to play a sample just so you can get into character. And then they play Richard Waugh. And I'm like, that's not Peter. On the fly, I had to reinterpret as best I could what he was doing off of one sample they played. And then, of course, it's written very operatic, and they wanted operatic acting. I prefer to underplay if I can, with the character, especially with bad guys. They're more evil the more you can underplay them. But they kept pushing it to be more broader and louder and nasty and arrogant and dismissive and all of this stuff. And they kept pushing me to where I would want to bring it in on like a 4, they wanted like an 8 or 9. Wow. And so that's, and of course, this, by the way, is you've got me trying to do someone new's voice that I haven't really heard, and also what I'd like to do as a character. Then you have a director who wants to direct me in the way that he thinks it should be, but he also has to then translate and please the producers who are in another room listening to it, and they're saying what they want, but they're Japanese and they don't speak English, so the translator's trying to translate what they want to the director. So they combine all that together, and you get various versions of Wesker.
That's a really interesting story because a lot of the English localizations, as opposed to what the original Japanese writings were, are like very different in tone in terms of Alex and Albert Wesker, both those characters. And it's like the common theme is that in the more English localizations, they want to make them seem like a more stereotypical, like, I want to end the world domination kind of annihilation villain. Whereas in the originals, they were kind of more subtle, and they're a little bit more clever, and they're a little bit more just nuanced in a way that American villains aren't really.
That's too bad. I would have loved to have performed it that way. So.
It really sounds like you would have loved that.
Yeah, it's funny. As you're like a 4, they're like, we need to go to a 9.
If I can hang on to my youthful voice and looks, perhaps I can get into the Resident Evil 5 remake.
Hey.
Give it about 10 years.
I think I'll be 65 by the time they get there.
I don't know. They're pumping out remakes a lot faster these days, so it could happen a lot sooner.